call to appreciate. The only time they call people is to complain. The only time they call their subject is to complain. The only time, no, complaining is necessary. Complaining is necessary, but it should not be always. Always also find time to appreciate people for the little they do. There are people that may be getting money from what they do, but they lack appreciation because money is the slightest part of appreciation. Money is the smallest part of appreciation. Appreciation comes, the real appreciation comes through what? Comes through telling the person, thank you, just thank you for what you have been doing. Thank you for all your effort. We really appreciate. Maybe a delivery man, he comes and delivers to you. As you just say, take your money on the table. Bye-bye. No. Thank you for delivering on time. Thank you for delivering because there are many people that will receive this money and they will never deliver. Now, when you telling the person thank you, it encourages him to do more, to also stick to that principle of what? Receiving money and delivering. Perhaps he may be thinking otherwise. I know maybe he will join the other people who will receive money and they will not deliver. Now, when you tell him thank you for delivering, thank you because there are people who take money and they don't deliver, you're making him to understand that what he's doing is important. Yeah, and you're making him to understand that he's unique, that there are other people that are doing otherwise. So he who receives money and deliver is unique. And everyone who receives such an appreciation of being unique or of being segmented will want to stay so for the little effort they do. Also, learn how to encourage people. It's necessary that we learn how to encourage people. That lady that is selling pop-off and beans in the street, making money from it, but she's thinking of closing because there are many people that are giving her derogatory comments. Ha! So after your degree, you can't sell pop-off and beans. Ha! So after all the school where you go, you can't sell a pop-off and beans. Now, she may be making money from it, but all these comments are killing her, and she's thinking of dropping. But when you come in and say, oh, I like a young girl like you that is trying to put in some effort to do something, to sell pawpaw for me, to sell tomatoes, to do corn, to do the better that are doing prostitution, those girls that are doing this, and this encouragement can keep her going. This encouragement can keep that young man going. This encouragement that is just what people need. So you should not only think that it's only money that keeps people in business. No, not only money. What keep people more in business more than money? Yeah, because no matter how bad a business, there's a time that you definitely have money. But now, what about the time where the business is somehow shaking? What will keep you going during that moment is encouragement for people, from people. But this is the reality of the society we have today, where people watch young people struggle, they watch their relatives struggle, they watch their friends struggle, they see their status, they see how they are posting about their business, and they do little or nothing to encourage them. It's only when they must have fallen or they must have gone out of stock or out of business, then you will hear comment like, ha, I don't know why Cameroonians are not serious. Somebody will start a business today, tomorrow he has already closed the business. What's happening in Cameroon? The issue is, did you encourage when the person started the business? Because business person will definitely embrace or date, and during those more sufficient person going, words of encouragement, words of appreciation, and we will need or we keep the person going. And those words will come from you who understand communication. Those words will come from you who ought to be a pleasant personality. Now, how do you become a pleasant personality? You become a pleasant personality. That is, you will encourage that person who was about to give up without you knowing. Just encouraging what that you meet a young girl selling granules in the market or in the street, and you tell her, I like what you're doing, keep doing it. Or you meet someone that is struggling and you tell her, I like what you're doing. Not that when you're used to that person will like you forever, because the person keep you in his heart. The person will keep you in her heart because it's not easy to have someone take his or her time to encourage people nowadays. Most negative in our society today, all they do is to chastise you, to criticize you. Oh, you're selling granola. Why is the granola not like this? Why is your tray not like this? Why is your own pop brown and not this? Why are you using red oil and not this, that, and so on and so forth? So the few persons who will give them some sort of appreciation and encouragement will have a place in their heart. So, for you to become a pleasant personality in your neighborhood, learn to appreciate your neighbors. Learn to appreciate that neighbor or encourage that neighbor that is doing something. That is how you start becoming a pleasant personality because charity begins at home. That young boy or young girl, whoever is doing something in the church, that you person and tell the person, hello, I like what you're doing, your voice is so now, maybe it's a singer, I like the way you sing, your voice is so nice, please keep up. Maybe you can become the next Snatch, you can become the next Gina Wana, you can become the next and so, the Frank Edward and so on and so forth. Yeah, meet that your pianist, tell him, I like the way you play the instrument. It should not only be complained. How do people that you play today so let's say they don't drink drunk? Okay, the day that they play well, did you go and encourage them? Yeah. So we should not only be only complaining. When people do things well, we should try to reach out. It takes nothing. It doesn't take money for you to go and meet someone and say, I like what you do. I like your effort. Please keep up. It doesn't take anything. It doesn't take money. Within a second, you can do that. Hmm? So let's learn to encourage people. The next word that we have to use is why. Always ask why. Always ask why. Why? WHY. Always ask why. I'll have to be wait, are we supposed to end at 9 or 9:30?
We can go up to 9:30, I think. Annie, am I right?
I think so, but the
Okay.
class is supposed to end at 9.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh,
Can we extend at least for a short while so we finish? Is that possible, Annie?
Yes.
Right.
okay. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll just list them. Then I'll start explaining wherever I end. Then it's okay. At least let me just list them first. Let me list the rest. So let's take why. Always ask why. Always ask why. The last, but not the least. The last is always say I am sorry. I am sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, these are just the two that are remaining. Let me rush through them. Okay. Always ask why. Now, let me be tautologous here. Why is it necessary to ask why? Why is it necessary to ask why? It's necessary to always ask why because our society today is very toxic. People rush into conclusions. People who don't want to hear both sides of the story. So there are many people that have been accused wrongly. There are many people whose names have been carried on social media without us getting to hear their own side of the story. People don't want to know. They just need to hear one information about you and they just start sharing from one social media blog to another. So when you develop that attitude of always receiving information and trying to connect to the person that is involved to ask why. What happened, sister? What happened, brother? There's this thing I heard about you in church. There's this thing I heard about you in the society on one social media blog, and I didn't want to rush into conclusions. What actually, I said, let me get to you. So what actually happened? These things are rare. Many of you, we know very well that you've received a lot of information about people and you start sharing it without getting to them to know their own side of the story. So if you are feeling it, then we have to stop it. It's necessary as people who want to develop themselves or who want to become pleasant personality, who want to touch the minds of people. to know that it's necessary to ask why. Whenever you hear something about someone, please go closer to the person to ask two things. Why? What happened? First, even start by asking, what happened? What happened that you did this thing? We heard something about you. What happened? And why? Why did you do it? What happened? Because it's necessary. There are many people that have committed suicide because they were wrongly accused, and people shared the information without even caring to know the outside of the story. So you would decide to be different. You would decide to come closer to these persons to know what actually happened, to know why it happened, why the person had to do it. Then you will be lovable. You will be loved by that person, because it is rare to find people who will always want to find out from the other person who is being rumored to have committed something. It's always difficult. So you will get closer to the person. Don't rush into conclusions. That announcement you heard in the church about a particular sister, don't just say, people that they do things that even for church, then you just start sharing it. Have you heard? It was announced, that sister this. You know that sister now. I be don't tell her that sister this, so correct. I be don't tell her. I be no say there must be something wrong. You have the number of the sister. Hey, we don't care to get to the sister to actually find out if what was announced or what is being circulating about her is actually true. Now the person that will get to that sister to show brotherly love. Sister, I heard this thing about you in church or maybe on social media. Please, I would like to know what really happened. Is it true? Why? Why did you do such a thing? And the sister will take the pain, or the brother will take the pain to explain to you. And once that explanation is done, you have to consult the person. Say, okay, fine. Even fine, please don't give up. You encourage the person will love you, because done what people or what others do not do. So you become a pleasant personality to that person. You make yourself pleasant to that person. You make yourself dependable, or you make yourself to be a reliable someone or person, someone he can rely on in times of difficulty, because you've proven that you act like societal notion. You are not like others in the society who rush into conclusions. So it necessitates that we don't rush into conclusions, because everyone has a reason. Even a man, if a man following a lady for nothing, there is something. The issue is that our eyes may not see, but spiritually there is something. Perhaps that woman has consulted or concocted or something like that. That is making the madman to fall. So everyone has a reason for doing something. So don't just hear that someone has done something and you rush. You just start sharing it without. It's always necessary to go closer to the person. We as communicators, if you are learning communication here, you have to start using it. You have to start applying it. You have to start knowing that it's good to always ask why. Don't just see your husband doing something, or just see your husband embracing a lady and you say, they don't deter me that this man is cheating, and you just conclude. No. Yeah, it's always necessary to meet in and say, I heard that you did this. I heard that you were seen embracing a lady. Is it true? What happened? Who is that? Always ask questions. Yeah, don't rush into conclusion. Don't just hear a rumor about somebody you know and you have his contact or her contact and you do not. Because this has killed so many relationships. This has killed so many brotherly love. Even in church, where people are accused wrongly. Even in your relationship, husband and wife, girlfriend and boyfriend, fiancé and relationship, this absence. Because mark you, communication is a bloodline of every relationship. I said communication is a bloodline of every relationship. Once these things start absenting, you will be causing problem in your relationship. Once you start limiting yourself, you don't want to ask why in your communication. When you see things go wrong, you just rush into conclusion, maybe because of what you've heard from neighbors, what you've heard from people. You will be making yourself a tyrant. You'll be making yourself a complicated person. But a pleasant personality is someone who always asks questions concluding, is someone who always try to ask why, always try to ask what before concluding. Let's get to sorry. I could emphasize on this and give examples, but we have to round up with I am sorry. The next is always say, I am sorry. So always say, I'm sorry. This one is the highest magic word that has the highest effect. I am sorry, or the word sorry, is the most difficult word on earth to be used. Repeat, the word I am sorry, or the word sorry, is the most difficult word on earth. There's even a song for that. That's sorry. The title of that song is Elton John. That song. The sorry seems. Now he says it seems, but communication is that the word sorry is what on earth. Now, you may not believe me because most of us say sorry haphazardly. For example, you're coming for a meeting like this late. Hello, everyone. I'm very sorry for coming late. You go to school late. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for coming. You go to your Anjangi. Hello, I'm sorry. But do you know that when that sorry is badly needed, when that sorry is really needed, what will happen? What will happen? You will say, over my dead body, I cannot tell that person sorry. I better die than for tell that person sorry. I cannot. No, not me. Pastor, you better. Pastor, there's nothing I can do. I cannot tell him sorry. Papa, I know. Don't worry yourself. I'm not going to tell you sorry. But this is someone who is just saying, I am sorry for coming late in a meeting. So we use the word I am sorry haphazardly, but when it is needed, we don't use it. We don't want to use it. Hardest word. It is the hardest word that cannot be used, or that people shy away from using when it is badly needed. And again, the notion people have that has made the word I am sorry, or the phrase I am sorry, the hardest is that who say sorry are the weaker persons. Yeah, the notion people have is the person who says sorry is a weaker person. But I will tell you that this is not true. In fact, those who say so do not really understand the word, because imagine it, the word I am sorry is the hardest word. Now, how can someone who use the hardest word be the weaker person? I don't know if you're understanding. I repeat, the word I am sorry is the hardest phrase, or the word sorry is the hardest word. Now, how can someone who is capable of using the hardest word be the weaker person? So it's to tell you that it is instead the contrary, that those who have that capacity, those who can say I am sorry, are instead the strongest people on earth. Those who can say, I am sorry at that time when the relationship is about crumbling, at that time when the other party is fuming in anger, at that time when nothing seems to be moving, and you get there to say, I am sorry. You are instead the strongest person. Now, we need to learn how to say, I am sorry, because it has the highest effect. The word I am sorry can suppress the most strongest mind on earth. I'm saying the word I am sorry, or the phrase I am sorry, can suppress the most strongest mind on earth, especially when you use it intentionally. You see, people don't use it intentionally. For example, you just see some sorry no, sorry no, sorry no. That's not intentional. So it cannot cause the magic that it has. So, but when you tell the person, hello, I'm really sorry for what I have done. Let's forget about the past and move forward. I'm really sorry. Now, when you say that emotionally, no matter how strong the other person is, you will succumb. He will succumb. His emotional heart will be suppressed by usage of that. I don't know if you have more, if not, I'll conclude with this. So, an example, a very brief example. One lady told me, read this book, her daughter bought this book, and she saw it on the table of the daughter, and she took it to her room that she will read it. So she went through it. She said it's an interesting book. She will read it. It's a lady that called me and she's giving this testimony. So she said that she saw something and she said she will read it afterward, but she forgot to do it. She forgot to read the book. So she had a problem with her husband, and the husband told her the next day that you are packing, you're leaving my house. So the next day, the husband said, I told you that you're packing, you're leaving my house. The husband took her valise and placed it in front of the door. Say, Madam, your time is up. Leave my house. Then the woman said that that night she had gone through this book, because when the problem was so intense, she didn't to do, and something was said, just read. So she saw this book and she opened it and stumbled on the magic words, and she stumbled on, I am sorry. Now, I am out of I am sorry. I'm just summarizing. So, or what I've given her is just a summary. So she read it and she decided she put it to test, because I told her that, I wrote, just as I'm telling you, that the word I am sorry is capable of what? Suppressing even the strongest mind. Now, mark you that her husband was vexed so much so that family members had intervened, no way. Friends and relatives or friends have intervened, no way. Even the church had intervened, no way. The husband said the woman must go, that her attitude is too much. He can no longer take it. So the lady said, after reading this session, I am sorry, yeah, she said she wanted to put it to test what I said here, if it can actually work. So why the next day, when the husband asked her to leave, that, Madam, your time is up, she said she knelt before the husband and told her that, I am sorry, I'm not do it again. It's I have really been acting awkwardly. I'm really sorry from the fault. And this is what she said, that the husband laughed and said, so you too, if you tell man say sorry, huh? That's what she's telling me. She said that, so you too, you thought I am sorry, yeah? And that she said that was all. The husband took her valise from the door and placed it back at the cupboard. So that is how her marriage was secured. She sent me 30 times for that. So it's to tell you that if that situation that be solved by relatives, the situation that could not be solved by close friends, a situation that could not be solved by even the church, could be just a word, can tell you importance or the effect of the word. The word is the stronger word. Let's learn to use it. And mark you should not say I am sorry only when you are wrong. I am sorry as a peacemaker, even when you are not wrong, even when you believe it, because that is the problem. Many people will want to use the word I'm sorry only when they are wrong. And when they feel they are not wrong, they say, I can never tell him I am sorry. We better separate. You see, so the issue, your employer to go, why should you allow your best employee to go just because you don't want to say I am sorry? Why should you allow your partner to go just because you don't want to say I'm sorry, even if the person is wrong? Even if you are the one that is right, say I'm sorry. You know why? Because you are the one that has attended this class. You are the one now that knows the importance of the word I'm sorry. You are the one that on the effects of the I'm sorry. You're the one that knows that the word is a highest difficult word. So to use the word. You don't expect somebody that is being considered a weak person to use that word, because and hard words are used only by hard persons. Hard words are used only by strong persons. So if the person is not using the word I am sorry, it's because the word is, are you getting me? The word is too heavy. So in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, this is the class for communication. Like Jesus Christ said on the cross, it is finished. Your
Thank you
questions?
so much, Mr. Bariko. Thank you. Maybe we take a few questions. Annie, please, with your permission, we take a few questions and then we give our final word. in Apostle Paul's voice of final exhortation. So please, questions.
I have a question.
I have a question. I wrote in the inbox. But it's like the teacher has not seen.
Yes, what's the question? Please ask. When talking, I could not be reading at the same time.
Let me quickly read. It says, please kindly address this. Does the position of please in the sentence make it impolite? Someone asked me which please is polite, the please that's at the beginning of a sentence or at the end of the sentence. For example, please give me my pen. Give me my pen, please.
Now, please is preferable at the beginning. Please is preferable at the beginning of the sentence. So you attach it at the beginning of the sentence. Now, you see, you make you are introducing your politeness with the word please. You don't introduce your politeness at the end. You understand? So you introduce because I said the word please is a word that indicates politeness. So you start by introducing yourself as a polite person through the word please. So you don't introduce yourself as a polite person at the end. Yeah, it's just like, most companies, they put their best goods in front. You don't put your best goods inside. You put the fruits in for them. When people say, no, I had other goods inside that are good. No, it doesn't work that way. Put your best. So once you introduce yourself with the word please. Now, at times, it depends the tone. When you put please at the end, it might indicate that it is impolite. Yeah, because it depends on the tone. Give me that pen, please. It depends. So there's this tone that I'm just used. It indicates that you are polite, but there are some that will indicate that you're impolite. But generally, the word please should be used at the beginning. I cannot think of a tone that will indicate that your please at the end is impolite, because I'm trying to rush things. Yeah, but the advice is start with the word please when asking a question or when you have a request. Is it okay?
Yes, so it's okay. So understood. Thank you.
Any other question?
Yes, I have a question. When it comes to saying please, usually I use it if I want to ask for a service or a product. And instinctually it makes me feel like I'm in a position of need rather than I'm coming to you for this good and service. So if it's a seller who has some sort of pride, they just jump on it and start making, oh, I cannot beat you at this price because. So how do we really address? How can one really still maintain their equal status while doing a business transaction? They still think like.
Well, you should. I'll remain back to the words. I said that always use the word please, which means that you don't have to use it in particular circumstances. It's always. Now, what you're saying could be a different scenario, or could be resolved in another way, not with the absence of please, or not by you abstaining from using the word please. You see, yeah, because your politeness should be your badge. Your polite nature should be your badge. Whether you're talking to your employers or you're talking to your employee, it should be your badge, your polite nature. So it should not be you wear your polite nature when you're talking to maybe your buyers or your sellers, and you remove it when you're talking to no. It should be your uniform. You understand? Yeah, I cannot really answer the part, or I cannot really know what will trigger your sellers to think that way, but just know that the word please should always be used, and it solves so many problems. Yeah, it solves so many, and it softens the hearts of people. It softens the hearts of your employees. It softens the hearts of your sellers. It's not a word that is used in the point of weakness. No, that's the notion many people have. It's not used in a point of weakness. In fact, it's used in a point of strength, because if you are capable to soften the hearts of so many people, you are winning indirectly. Because when people start talking about you positively, oh, that lady is very polite, I like to go to her shop because she's very polite, and so on and so forth, then you should know that that badge that you're wearing is acting for your favor. Yeah, it's true. You may have some one or two customers who maybe because in Cameroon we say that when people are too polite, we disrespect them. When people are too humble, we disrespect them. But that shouldn't stop someone from being humble. That shouldn't stop someone from being obedient, because there are some few persons who disrespect you from being obedient. You see, the word please, all these words are words of virtue, and you ought to always practice virtue, whether it will be receptive by some particular persons or not. You get it? Yeah. So just use the word. Always use the word. It might not act you may not act positively on one particular person who may disrespect you, or who may want to not contract with you because they feel that you are at inferior end. But I tell you that it will pay more to other clients. Be your badge. Next question, please.
I think Pastor Millie wanted to ask a question, but here's a remark from Mirabelle. She says, "Thank you, sir. I see myself in so many aspects of this course, and I have been working more towards amelioration." So that's a thank you. Daisy says, "Thank you, sir. My politeness should always be my badge." I've seen Pastor Millie's hand. I don't know if that was a wave, like a greeting, or an indication that you have a question, Pastor.
Yes. I have a question and a contribution also. Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Am I able enough?
Yes,
Good.
you are. Please.
Thank you so much, sir, for this great teaching. Honestly, I missed the most part of it, but I will catch in with the replay. So I want to add this. In a formal setting, it is always advisable to always be polite, starting from using the please, the sorry, and all that. But also, it is also advised never to overuse it. That's in a formal, that's corporate setting and all that. Then my question is, at what point are we going to say one is overusing the words, the polite words, the please, the sorry, and what? Since that is the rule, at what point should we now say you are overusing it?
Well, you see, like I said, you have to use the words in an intentional manner. You see, when you say intentional, it means that you have to be selective. So you cannot just get up in the morning and you tell somebody, please, good morning. No, it doesn't work. Yeah. Or please, how are you? No. It means that in a time that you engage a conversation with someone, a serious conversation, an intentional conversation, you will be using the word please with the purpose of what? Suppressing the person. Now, there is no there's no meter to measure if the word please was actually overused or not. But we are just saying that learn to use it when it is appropriate. When you have a conversation with someone, maybe a business transaction, whenever you're making a request, an important request, you use please. But you should not, if you have to ask 10 questions in that conversation, all the questions should not carry the word please. You start the conversation with please, and you carry on with other words. So if you start the conversation with please, and anything you're asking is please, 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 it becomes boring. That's when maybe we can say that it's overused. Yeah, it's overused. So in the same thing, like sorry, if you're in a matrimonial home and anything I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my husband, I'm sorry, my wife, I'm sorry, it becomes boring. Everything that is overused becomes boring and becomes maybe like a waste. So you have to be intentional with the word usage. But at that time, with the word usage, at that time when there is a problem in the marital home, or there is a problem in your relationship, maybe with your customers, and you call all of them and say, hey, I discovered that things are not going well. If it's my fault, I really apologize. I'm really sorry. It has some weight. But if you're always using it, oh, I'm sorry that I could not make it. I'm sorry that I'm sorry that we did not have this product. It becomes like an anthem. No, the word sorry should not be an anthem. It should be used in specific moments and when it is badly needed. That is it. Once you overuse it, even when it is badly needed, it will not be taken serious. Yeah. So that woman was able to save her marriage because the husband had not heard that word from her. If it was a word that she has been regularly using without intentional, it would not have had that effect that it had. That's why many people will tell you that I'm using the word I'm sorry, but I'm not seeing any effect. I'm not seeing any magic as you write it in your book that it's a magic word. It's because everybody knows you to be like using the word I'm sorry always. No, you have to be intentional about it. And it has to be aim at what solving a critical situation. So it should not be an anthem. It's not a song. So I think that is that. So we should know when to use it, and the purpose for using it is to solve a situation. Yeah, it should not be used when we don't want to solve a situation. And the word please should be used at the beginning of the conversation, and it should not flow throughout the conversation. Once it flows throughout the conversation, it becomes boring, and it will not have the weight or the effect that it ought to have.
That's good. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And I think most of the times we use it for the wrong purpose. Like sometimes you see people will say, please, so do this, or please, so I beg, or please, so it's just an abuse of the polite words. Thank you so much for this. I'm grateful.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you're
sir.
welcome, ma. You're welcome. So we have to be intentional about the use of the word. We should use it for a particular purpose to solve and to win the heart of someone. Next question, if there is, please.
I think we have to be intentional about the use of time as well.
That's
Please, I
right.
have a question.
Okay, now let me.
We're a minute or a few seconds to 9:30 already.
Alors, j'ai une question avant qu'on clôture, s'il vous plaît. Can I go in French, please? Good evening.
Yes, you can, please.
Thank you. Bonsoir, une fois de plus, merci beaucoup pour l'enseignement, c'était super, super. Maintenant, ma question, c'est un peu en même temps hors. Dans le domaine professionnel, par exemple, tu as on appelle ça tu as un interview pour le travail, tu dois postuler et tout ça. Est-ce que ces mots-ci, s'il vous plaît, merci, est-ce que à chaque question qu'on doit me poser peut-être lors d'une interview, est-ce que je dois toujours dire merci de m'avoir passé la parole, je suis honorée, ce genre de petites phrases-là. Ça, c'est le petit A. Le petit B, maintenant, à la question qu'on demande toujours à l'entretien de travail, pourquoi est-ce que on vous choisirait, vous, Madame X, par exemple? Pourquoi est-ce qu'on doit vous choisir? Est-ce que je dois mettre l'accent sur mes expériences professionnelles pour répondre à la question, ou est-ce que je mets l'accent sur le nombre de diplômes que j'ai, ou est-ce que je mets l'accent sur mon comportement en tant que travailleur? Bref, c'est vrai que l'autre question s'y sort un peu hors, mais j'ai un peu besoin d'infos là-dessus. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, yeah. Should I respond in French or in English? Yeah,
Uh,
since the majority here is in English, let me respond in English. But I
okay.
believe she gets English very. Tu comprends l'anglais
50.
bien?
Bon, 60 quand même, mais je pense qu'elle va comprendre l'idée générale. Merci.
Oui, le premier question, je viens d'expliquer ça, je viens de répondre ça, parce que je vous ai dit, il faut
Être intentionnel.
voilà, avec ça, parce que si tu utilises ça chaque fois, c'est une abuse, voilà. Le mot là n'aura pas la puissance, oui, qu'il faut. Oui, on ne l'utilise pas n'importe comment. Je suis désolé, merci beaucoup, chaque fois, merci beaucoup. Non, j'ai clairement dit qu'il faut utiliser ça au commencement des discussions, au commencement des dialogues. Oui, mais quand tu continues le dialogue, il faut éviter d'utiliser ce mot. Sinon, le mot là, en utilisant, en utilisant constamment, va perdre la puissance. Oui, je pense que tu as écouté cette explication
Oui,
et
oui,
c'est
très bien.
ça. Voilà. Dès que tous entrent dans une interview, si on te dit, Madame, prends place, tu dis oui, merci, monsieur, merci de m'accueillir. Voilà. Si on t'appelle, tu parles